Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Golden Bachelorette's Chock Chapple's disinterest in moving to NYC could change Joan Vassos' plans. Will it hurt their relationship? The Golden Bachelorette's winning couple Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple have been keeping viewers up to date about their New York City move, which they've been planning for ages, but Chock's perceived disinterest in moving to the city could change Joan's mind. Throughout the months after the Golden Bachelorette Season 1 finished airing, Joan and Chock have been open about their private lives, including their plans for the future. While Joan lives in Maryland, Chock resides in Kansas, which puts them into a long-distance relationship immediately. Trying to combat that issue, Joan and Chock settled on finding an NYC home, sharing that they were hoping to find a space that would work well for them in New York City. Joan and Chock were both hoping to keep their existing homes and rotate through the spaces together. Joan wanted to be close enough to her family that it wouldn't be an issue to jump on a train and help out when necessary, while Chock wanted to be able to head back to Wichita, Kansas for his business needs when he had to without much fanfare. Though the couple has been searching, Chock doesn't seem as excited about NYC as Joan is. Although Joan and Chock have been upfront about the fact that they enjoy where they're living, they want to be able to be together, which presented a problem for the couple. After they finished filming The Golden Bachelorette and had to hide their relationship until the show's finale, Joan and Chock discussed how they were going to split their time and what would work for them moving forward. Deciding on an NYC move, the couple got to work quickly investigating what would be feasible for them in their golden years. Immediately after the Golden Bachelorette finale, Joan and Chock took to New York City to try and investigate the real estate options they had available. Though they weren't successful in finding anything right away, they shared with followers that they'd settled on living in the Soho neighborhood and hoped to work with a real estate agent to find something soon. Despite a valiant search, Joan and Chock have yet to find a place of their own. Although Joan has been working hard to find a place in New York City, Chock seems to have fallen off the idea of going to the Big Apple. While it seemed like Chock was in the same boat as Joan, looking forward to New York City living, he's been a lot less outwardly interested in being a resident of NYC online. Though Chock hasn't commented on it directly, he's been sharing a lot more about Kansas than he ever did before, which makes it appear that he's not interested in leaving his home behind. Although Chock has been doing his best to move through his time post-show in a way that makes sense for him, the Golden Bachelorette star hasn't been as open as Joan has about how he's feeling or what he wants. While Joan has been clear that she wants to move to New York City and spend her life traveling around with Chock, he may be more interested in staying in Kansas than in busy New York. Chock's distaste for New York, even if it's just a perception, could color the way Joan feels about their big move in the future. Joan Vassos has been all in on finding love again as the first ever Golden Bachelorette. But is she about to hit a major roadblock in her relationship with Chock Chapple? As the season winds down, fans have been eager to see if Joan will find her happily ever after. However, a new issue could throw a wrench into her plans: Chock's reluctance to move to New York City. From the very beginning, Joan made it clear that she wasn't just looking for love. She was looking for a future partner who would fit into her already established life. A devoted mother and grandmother, Joan has strong ties to the East Coast, and New York City offers her the perfect mix of excitement and proximity to her family. While romance and compatibility are key in any relationship, logistical hurdles like location preferences can make or break even the strongest connections. Chock, on the other hand, has never been one to embrace big city living. A man who values comfort, familiarity, and a laid-back lifestyle. He has expressed reservations about uprooting his life. His current home, nestled in a quieter, more suburban setting, has given him a sense of peace and stability that he's reluctant to give up. For Chock, New York represents the hustle and bustle of a world that might be too fast-paced for his liking. And while he undoubtedly cares for Joan, moving to the Big Apple just isn't on his bucket list. This hesitation is a significant issue because Joan has been upfront about her long-term plans. She has spent years crafting a life that makes sense for her, and now she faces the possibility that the man she's falling for doesn't share the same vision. Could this be a deal-breaker? The golden bachelorette's dream of love and balance. Joan has never been the type to throw caution to the wind. Even while navigating the unpredictable waters of reality-TV romance, she has remained practical, keeping one foot firmly planted in reality. She understands that love alone isn't enough to sustain a relationship if the logistics don't align. She's built a life in New York that she cherishes, filled with meaningful connections, family, and professional opportunities. The idea of leaving it all behind for love might seem romantic in theory, but in practice, it's a gamble she may not be willing to take. As much as she adores Chock, she knows that compromise is a two-way street. If he isn't willing to move to New York, would she consider relocating for him? Or is this a situation where love meets its limits? Chock's perspective. A man set in his ways. Chock is the type of man who knows what he wants, and, more importantly, what he doesn't want. His life has been shaped by decades of experience, and at this stage, he isn't keen on making drastic changes. While he may be smitten with Joan, the idea of moving to New York City feels like too much of a stretch. For Chock, home isn't just a place, it's a lifestyle. It's the ability to enjoy a quiet morning with a cup of coffee on the porch, knowing his neighbors, and feeling at ease in familiar surroundings. The constant buzz of city life, the traffic, and the towering skyscrapers don't align with his ideal vision for the future. While he hasn't outright refused to consider moving, his lack of enthusiasm has been apparent. And if he's not genuinely excited about the idea, is it fair to ask him to make that sacrifice? Or would it only lead to resentment down the road? Will this hurt their relationship? Every relationship has its hurdles, but the question remains, is this one too big to overcome? If Joan and Chock were younger, perhaps they could find a middle ground by testing out different living arrangements before making a final decision. But at this stage in life, neither of them is looking to waste time. They both want something real and lasting. And if they can't agree on where they should live, that could pose a serious threat to their future together. Fans have already noticed some tension brewing as Joan and Chock navigate this topic. While they clearly have chemistry and share a deep bond, the possibility of an impasse looms large. If neither is willing to compromise, it may force Joan to reconsider whether Chock is truly her best match. Possible outcomes. A crossroads for Joan and Chock. Chock has a change of heart. Maybe love will prove strong enough to sway him. If Chock can find a way to embrace the idea of city life, even part-time, it could pave the way for a compromise that works for both of them. Joan decides to leave New York. Could Joan shock everyone by choosing love over location? While it seems unlikely given her strong ties to the East Coast, love has a way of making people reconsider even their firmest decisions.